Welcome back to the War Corgi YouTube channel. For the first time on the channel, we have my friend Frederik.
Hello guys, nice to see you.
Frederik will be playing with his Imperial Fists today. But don't be fooled, he also has a Guard army he commands. But unlike the 17 Shetland Dragoons, yours originate from KDI, I believe, right?
It's an 84th Canadian tank company, and maybe someday they will turn up here.
You know it was always Imperial Jake's dream to have a guard-on-guard fight, so maybe we can do that for Jake.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we should. So, 17 Shetland Dragoons, of course, use the Talorn Doctrine. What we have here is 2 battalions and a spearhead detachment for a total of 14 command points.
Many points to spend, yeah.
I've already spent one of them, and we'll get to that once we get to the 2nd battalion. But let's start over here with the tanks. Here's the most interesting.
Yes, as always.
Yeah, exactly. So I got 2 Lehman Russ tank commanders. The one over here on my right, your left, has the Plasma Executioner variant with the dual plasma cannons on the side and a heavy bolter in front. And then I have a second tank commander. He runs in a Vanquisher.
Alright.
Controversial choice, but I like it.
Yeah.
It is upgraded.
Fluffy choice.
It is, especially for a tank commander.
Absolutely.
And when it does work, it does really good work. It is an anti-tank vehicle, obviously.
Yeah.
And as such, I have equipped it with a 100-killer missile for some extra punch.
Yeah.
And an auger array, which you don't see very often, but allows you to reroll 1 miss. And the thing with the Vanquisher cannon is it's so powerful that you really want it to hit.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, 5 points, get to reroll 1 miss.
Last cannon, I see.
Last cannon on the front.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Then I got 3 Lehman Russes, 2 on the outside here, just the standard Lehman Russ tank, which is plenty good. Then I have a Punisher in the middle, which sports 3 heavy bolters.
Oh yeah, some infantry killing.
Yeah, this Simon hates that vehicle, by the way.
Yeah, it's horrible if you play against it.
I don't think it's as scary as people think, but that's fine. You can think it's scary.
You need to choose the right targets.
Yes.
Bikes, light infantry, just choose through it.
Yeah, once you get in that 24-inch range, no doubt. I got a Mana Core, because every time I don't bring a Mana Core, I'm upset. I think I should. Alright, moving towards the center, we have a Militarum Tempestus battalion.
Oh, yeah.
It's led by Tempestor Prime. He has taken a relic, which is Laurels of Command, which allows him to give a second order to an infantry unit on a 4+. So that could come in a lot of handy. He is seconded by a Primaris Psyker there. His psychic power is Psychic Barrier to give +1 to the save of any unit. That will manifest on a 6 or better, 12-inch range. And I got 3 units of Tempestus Scions here. The first one up here, all the sergeants are armed with power swords, as befitting of their awesomeness. This front squad of 9 has 2 multi-guns. This middle squad has 2 grenade launchers, and this back squad 2 plasma guns.
Oh, yeah.
Then lastly,
yeah,
the Casterkin models are probably some of the best models GW ever put up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, love them.
Need to paint mine up, but I have some in the back.
Yeah, you either have to paint them up or have to sell them because they're worth gold on eBay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I don't want to sell them.
Yeah, I'd paint them up.
Yeah.
Lastly, over here, last battalion. This is the bulk of my force. Really, it's a mechanized infantry battalion with some pioneer support. So this is my warlord right there. It's just a normal company commander. His relic is the Kuros Aquila, which allows me to get command points back from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a lie. That is his relic, Kuros Aquila. His warlord trait is Old Grudges, which allows things within 6 inches of it to reroll to wound against 1 target I nominate during deployment.
Okay.
I find that's really good with the tanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you have, I don't know what your list is yet, but we're going to find out if you have one big centerpiece that helps out a ton.
I think you will find a target quite easily.
Okay. He's flanked over here by 2 units of, those are veterans. They have the Voxcasters and then 3 grenade launchers in the squads. They're kind of like my pioneers or my pathfinders. They go out in front of the force. But I like them a lot, but they're dismounted. And then behind them I have an air company commander. He has a power sword and a plasma pistol. And then another Primaris Psyker. He has Night Shroud, which is a -1 to hit penalty if successfully cast. Then we got 3 units of regular infantrymen. They have box casters. The sergeants all have the last pistols and chainsword. And because they're only 1 point more than a flamer now, each of those squads has a plasma gun. That's a new upgrade for those guys. They used to run flamers, but
that's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, I think so. 7 points. I'm going to take it. Yeah. And then lastly, 3 chimeras. 2 of them have the multi-laser on top, while the third one has a heavy bolter.
All right.
So last thing to mention, Talon, of course, does 2 things for me with the doctrines. The first one is infantry can advance and still fire the rapid-fire weapons as if they hadn't advanced. And vehicles can move and still use their heavy weapons as if they were standing still.
So also the full range.
Yep, full range and no -1 to hit.
Essentially. Pretty mobile, yeah.
Oh yes, they're the fastest guard regiment for sure. Yeah. And then of course Militarum Tempestus, since this is a Militarum Tempestus pure battalion, they get to roll for additional hits on every hit of a 6 at half range. So for their normal hot shot blast guns, you're talking about 9 inches, but the plasma guns and that's 12 inches. So maybe get some extra hits in. Oh. That's it. 2,000 points of Astra Militarum. Ready to take the field against the Imperial Fist.
Yeah.
You nervous? You shouldn't be. You've seen this before.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen this before, but I know the punch of the guard, so it'll be pretty tough.
All right.
We'll see.
We will see. We'll come back with your list next.
Let's start.
Bring on the Imperial Fist.
Yeah, here we have. I bought a battalion detachment and from the new Vigilist book, a Siegebreaker Guard.
Okay.
So for some nasty relics. So first up we have a battalion detachment with 2 scout squads. One's armed with a rocket launcher, one's got a heavy bolter, and my third troop choice is a tactical squad armed with a combi plasma and a desk cannon.
Okay.
Pretty normal. Leading my troops today is my Chaplain and Terminator armor.
He looks brilliant.
Thank you very much. And I also bought a Taekwondo, some support for my dreadnoughts. And then I have 5 normal Terminators, armed with assault cannon, and 6 assault Terminators with thunder hammers and storm shields. That's a battalion detachment.
Okay.
And the Siegebreaker Guard, well, it was a vanguard detachment. Some elites, but you have to pay 1 point, so now it's Siegebreaker Specialist Detachment. Leading this is my captain.
And that's a Primaris
captain, yes.
Of course.
He will also be my warlord today.
Okay.
And we have 2 vulnerable dreadnoughts, one armed with a close combat weapon and a storm cannon, and the other one with a twin laser cannon and a rocket launcher. Also I bought a Frederik Contemptor dreadnought.
Yeah.
2 twinning laser cannons. Hitting 2 pluses, it's really kind of nasty against the tanks, I think.
Yeah.
And Leviathan with 2 storm cannon arrays, so 20 shots. I think some pretty nasty firepower.
Yeah.
To cover my Land Raider Crusader.
Okay.
That's also in there. We're transporting the Terminators and the Chaplain. And my Warlord is the Primaris captain. He has a Storm of Will rule, so each wound roll of a 6+ gives an additional AP.
Okay.
So AP -2 becomes AP -3 and so on. And he's got the A of Hilfsmacht. So for each unit in my Siegebreaker Guard, which are just the dreadnoughts, they can reroll once of wounds.
Okay.
So basically he's a captain with lieutenant.
This is an extremely heavy Imperial Fist force with the 4 dreadnoughts and
kind of elite.
Yeah.
Scouts to cover the
11 Terminators. I like it a lot. Now, this really benefits from the new beta rule.
Yeah.
If it
would be pretty nasty with 24 storm bolter shots, a hurricane bolter, storm cannon. The Terminators got some point drops, and the dreadnoughts also. So I'm happy to see my favorite units again on the board.
And those Terminators, they always get 4 shots out of the storm bolter, correct?
Yes.
That is really nice. Yeah. And then lastly, the Imperial Fist, their chapter trait allows them to ignore cover.
Yes, ignore cover, so no hiding for you. Siege masters.
You know those dismounted infantry, they're a little nervous right now.
I thought so.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's my list.
Alright, so let's go figure out what kind of mission we're going to play and get everything lined up. We'll be back.
Yes, I have it.
Thank you.
What is the location.
Alright, the sides have been drawn, the mission has been rolled for, and it is cut off the head, and it is messing with my head. 2018 chapter approved Eternal War mission. Here's how it works. We have one objective on the board. It is in the very center. Each of us had to put an intelligence point on 3 characters from our armies. And we have noted that down on our army sheets. And you can know right now too, Frederik has 3 characters. So it's his tech priest, his Primaris captain, and the chaplain. Yeah. Mine is going to be my 3 commanders. So it's my 2 guard company commanders and my Tempestor Prime. They are the only ones who can hold Objective 1. And starting in the second round, if you hold Objective 1, you get a point at the end of the battle round. Starting at the bottom of the third round, you get a point for each of your characters that has a intelligence point on them. You get 1 point for them if they're still alive and on the battlefield, either in a transport or on the actual table. So plenty of points to be scored. Of course, the secondaries, as usual, are Slay the Warlord, First Strike, and Linebreaker. Quick look at the terrain is not going to matter much because Frederik brought the one chapter that gets to ignore the terrain. We have some ruins over here, and we play the Sky Shield landing platform as a ruin as well. The river is -2 to charge distance unless you go over the bridge or the fort over there. These buildings over here are impassable, while that structure over there is counted as ruins as well. We have some forests as well, which are -2 and also for cover. So, Frederik, you want to go over what you did for your deployment first?
Yeah, since I have to deploy everything first, I thought I'd go pretty aggressive. I split up my tactical squad to the left and to the right flank to have some security from the signs coming down. Scout squad in the front, some nasty missile launchers, scout squad in the back to secure from the signs. I'm pretty afraid of them. And then in the middle, pretty aggressive, the Land Raider inside the chaplain and the Sword Terminators going right up to maybe take the objective or to knock off some tanks. The captain's right behind here. He's hiding. No, he's not hiding. He's an Imperial Fist. He's planning. So, grinding his bubble to the dreadnoughts. The Lascans over here to have some pretty field of view. The Leviathan, some cover to move up with the Land Raider and the last dreadnought also behind. So pretty aggressive, going onward to the objective.
It is very interesting because that centerpiece of terrain essentially blocks your approach from about half of my deployment zone. And I picked this deployment zone, believe it or not.
Pretty okay for me.
On my side, it's a parking lot, folks. With Search and Destroy, I had about a quarter of the table to play with, but it got crowded fast. So I'm leading the way with my mechanized infantry, all 3 Chimeras. 1-3 there on the right has the Primary Psyker, as does 1-2, and then 1-1 has the company commander. They're being supported by the Punisher, which is just within 24 inches of those scouts, if it should survive this first turn. Tank commander here in the Leman Russe Vanquisher, and then this is the majority of my tanks back here. We got the Plasma Executioner commander leading the way, 2 Leman Russes, and the Manticore missile launcher. That is a lone company commander back there, giving off his 6-inch bubble of reroll wounds against the Land Raider that Freddy has deployed, because that's going to tear up my infantry once I lose my transports. And then lastly, I have a screen of 2 veteran infantry squads to my north right there. Don't know exactly what they're going to do yet, but we will see. So with that, we are ready to try to seize the initiative. I am definitely going to give it a whirl because normally I would just let this go and take the 2 stratagem points to pretend like I'm in cover, but Freddy would ignore that. So let's see if I can roll a 6. All right, Frederik says he hopes I don't. No big deal if I do. Let's see what we get here. That's a 4. All right, so good luck to you, Frederik.
Good game. Let's start.
Let's see what happens this first turn. All right, Frederik, take us through your movement phase, please.
Yeah, quite straightforward. Moving up my Land Raider, Crusader, the Venerable Dreadnought with the Assault Cannon to take the objective and choose through the infantry and the armor. And the rest pretty much stood still, moving forward the heavy boulder, and everything else was in range to shoot at something.
Okay.
So, here we go.
That'll be plenty.
Shooting phase was pretty brutal, so Imperial Fists are angry. So we took down the first Chimera directly at the bridge. The Leviathan made a perfect hit on it. Yeah, he lost 2 guys when leaving the vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah. My Contempted Dreadnought killed the tank commander over there with the plasma.
The Executioner.
The Executioner. And my other vulnerable Dreadnought and the last cannon killed the Puncher right behind the Chimeras. So what else to say? The Scouts took out 1 more Guardsman, and the Land Raider eliminated one of the
veteran
squads. And that was...
you also did 6 points of damage on the other Lehman Russ tank commander.
That
with
must have been the tactical squad.
It was, with the last cannon shot, well placed, and rolled a 6 for damage.
Yeah, that was...
Frederik, that was a heck of a start against the Guard. Okay.
I have to admit, pretty tough.
That is indeed. So we're going to see if we can recover. The first thing we got to do is see if this squad right here passes its morale test. Its leadership is 7. It has lost 1, or 3. So that is a 6. They're going to be fine just as they are. Okay, Guard will be back. They have been hit pretty hard. We'll see if we can come back though. Alright, the 17th Shetland Light Dragoons began licking its wounds and has moved forward, starting with the infantry squad that was really blown out of their Chimera. They advanced and then headed over the bridge. This Chimera on my right dropped off the primary Psyker and then moved over to the right, it's 12 inches, while the headquarters Chimera has moved up to kind of block in that Land Raider. Of course, it could blast a hole right through those infantry, but we're hoping it's dead by then. The Lehman Russ tank commander has moved up, just peeking around the corner, so we can see the Land Raider, while the company commander back here has remained stationary with the 2 standard Lehman Russes and the Manticore. And my last squad of guys is moving around towards Frederik's flank. They can see through the bottom of here towards his tactical squad on the other side, so those grenade launchers are hopefully going to come in handy. So that's going to be it for those guys as we go on to my psychic phase. And we're going to do this real quick. Both these guys are going to be casting Smite, Frederik, at the Land Raider. They're both within 18 inches. And so I'm going to start with this one back here. Needing the 5. I have cast a 6. You have a stratagem that you would like to play?
Yeah, maybe. If you hit something, I'm going to play
I have hit it with a 6. It will do D3 at this point.
Okay, so I'm playing Armor of Contempt. For each mortal wound, I'm rolling a dice on a 5+.
Alright, let's see how many mortal wounds we're going to do to you. And that's going to be 2.
2, so 2 5-ups and snake
2
eyes.
Double 1s.
Oh no. So 2 damage on it.
Okay, the second Psyker is doing the same thing, my friend. He has rolled an 11. Alright, so that means D6 mortal wounds. Rolling a 2.
You want to spend a command point?
I'm gonna spend a command point because you didn't see it, but it was actually a 6 and it rolled down the bridge and turned into a 2. So we're spending a command point to make that a 5.
5. So 5 up saves.
Way to go, Psyker buddy.
And here we go. And
oh,
save
better.
is 2.
2 out of the 3.
5 wounds overall. And it's down to 11 wounds.
Okay, and I am down to 12 command points.
Yes.
Comfortable. Okay, I'm not sure the Shelties have done enough here. We start with orders. I used 1 command point to make that into a mobile command vehicle to give these guys first rank fire, second rank fire. They ended up shooting at the scouts in there, only taking out 2. The plasma hit once but failed to wound. That was really disappointing. After that, they were aided by the 2 Chimeras shooting all of their weaponry into the scouts but didn't take out any there. The big damage came against Frederik's Land Raider, and it came in the form of those 2 Lehman Russes right there. Being able to reroll to wound, I managed to put a total of 8 wounds on it, I believe, because it started with 16.
Yeah, 16 now, so it's 12 wounds.
12 wounds, but 4 of those were from the psychic phase,
yes,
right? Okay.
Psychic phase.
So 12 wounds, and that was aided by the Mana Core missile launcher as well, although I don't think the Mana Core actually did any wounds. You had some really good saves, to include a 6-up save against the last cannon here, and some saves against the Mana Core. Over here, these veterans opened up with the 3 grenade launchers, removing one of the Space Marines in the trees back there. Yeah. The last thing I have to do is, since I ordered this unit, he ordered himself to get around behind them. After he shot, he moves back 6 inches. So he is just going to go ahead and move back out of line of sight. That is going to be it. Unfortunately, I didn't even do enough to force a morale check, and I certainly don't get first strike, so the score at the end of turn 1 is the Imperial Fist 1, the Shelties 0. Coming back for turn 2.
Okay, so Land Raider moved up a bit more. The Shetlands are blocking me pretty good on the bridge, so not much movement here. Yeah, the Leviathan is moving up, grant some fire support. The Venerable Dreadnought Sword Cannon moving to the right flank, supporting the tactical squad against the veterans. And the Tech Marines moving up to maybe repair some of the Land Raider that's left, but I'm not sure it's going to be fast enough.
He advanced with a 1.
Yeah, he's not very...
He's not very interested.
Eager to get in combat today.
Not at all. Okay, so another round of Imperial Fist shooting. It has barely been degraded, so it could be another big one for Frederik as he goes against the Shelties.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, a bit of more firepower for my Imperial Fists. So popped up the last 2 chimeras with some last cannon shots. Also did some damage to one of the battle tanks in the back. He's down to 6 wounds, I guess.
Yeah, you used a command point to re-roll on that one, correct?
Yeah, on the Venerable Dreadnought. And got a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last cannon here, still doing some good work.
Pop 4 off of that Vanquisher.
Yeah, and the Leviathan popped up the next Chimera, the Contemptor, the last one. And yeah.
Yep.
The tactical squad and the Venerable Dreadnought shot on the veterans. Also pretty nasty, and Scouts haven't done anything, to be honest, but the Land Raider Crusader shoots some more infantry squads.
Yeah.
But I have to say the one on the bridge is very doable.
So 2 guys died crawling out of that Chimera that blew up, and then 2 guys died crawling out of that Chimera. And then despite needing 5s and 6s to hit, the Hurricane Bolters just wrecked another 7 guys from the infantry squad. So when I look around for morale, because that's it for the shooting phase, and you're not assaulting, correct?
No assaults.
This squad has lost 3. Their leadership is 7. 3 plus 5 is 8, so they're going to lose 1 additional guy. This squad's automatically going to fail.
Oh yeah.
And then my veterans over here, also a leadership 7. They have lost 7. That's a 6, so they are also going to run away. So we are melting. Scions, come save us. We need you now.
Yeah, they're going to come down.
We will not score a victory point there until the end of the battle rounds, but right now Frederik is controlling it with his chaplain, who does have the intelligence point on him. So we'll come back with the Shelties round 2 next. It's a bit of a gambling turn for the Shelties as we've really been pushed to the brink here. I have moved this squad up there 6 inches. They did not advance, leaving open the opportunity to charge perhaps later. While the squad that was on the bridge, what remained of it, has moved back towards the captain. So now he's within 3 inches of the boxcaster, so he can give orders freely to that unit within 18. Just kind of shuffled around the 2 Psychers a little bit while this headquarters tank moved out. It's 4 inches again. It will only get 1 shot, hitting on 6s, but it does have some line of sight now. Everything back here remained in place, and then at the end of the turn, I brought in the unit of Scions with the plasma guns here, the unit with the melta guns here, And the unit with the grenade launchers there. Freddy did play Auspex scanners for that squad up there. The last cannon zapped the dude, and then he had 2 other hits. I made only 1 wound with the bolters, and I made the 4-up save. So,
what about your Tempestor Primes?
My Tempestor Prime is going to go right behind these guys. Thank you for reminding me.
Thought you missed him. Here you go.
So he's going to go right over here is where he's going to go. Thank you very much. Okay, so that will do it for my movement phase. We'll go into the psychic phase, starting with my 2 psychers. Did you want to play that stratagem again, Freddy?
If you're going to smite them, yeah.
I am going to smite.
You can activate it when you make a wound.
Okay. So the first one needs a 5 in order to get it. He has rolled a 12.
Whoa.
We're going to go ahead and keep that.
Psychic shenanigans.
So D6 is good for 1. I will use a command point to reroll it for another 1. Alright, so Freddy, you got 1 wound going to you. Yeah. And I got D3 wounds going to me. Yeah. He has done 3 wounds to himself.
Oh no.
Alright.
Okay, I'm going to play Armor of Contempt.
Okay.
Down to 3 command points. No. On a 5. Yeah, it goes through, so just 3 wounds left.
Second Psyker is going to do the same, needing a 6 at this point. He has rolled a 9, so he's going to do D3 wounds to you. For 1 again.
5-up save. I don't make it.
Okay.
So down to 2.
That's disappointing. He died from the perils of the warp, so I'm going to have to check the rules real quick because I'm pretty sure he blows up and kills people next to him. We'll be right back.
Oh, no.
Oh, as it turns out, he has 4 wounds, so get back up, buddy. That is very fortuitous. Still, I wish I could have destroyed that. I did not, but all in good time. Let's hope. All right, so with that, we will go to the Shelties' turn 2 shooting phase. Ladies and gentlemen, it was going so well until it wasn't. Start out by opening it up with this Leman Russ, which managed to destroy that there Land Raider. One of the Terminators died getting out. Now, a whole bunch of orders were issued at the very beginning. Having moved these guys back, the officer back there gave them take aim to reroll 1s, while my Tempestor Prime gave both these squads first rank fire, second rank fire, and rolled a 4 on his Laurels of Command to give them take aim as well. And that squad had first rank fire, second rank fire. So once these Terminators piled out, I opened up with the second Leman Russ back there, and I think killed 2 more, Freddy?
Yes, 2 more.
So it was going pretty well at this point. And then the Scions opened up on both sides, and I've killed them all down to the Sergeant, and that was including that squad there shooting. I decided to get brave with my captain back there and the plasma pistol. I mean, I pay the points for the pistol, might as well use it. I overcharged it in the attempt to kill that sergeant. He rolled a 1. I did use a command point, which I knew I had in my back pocket, and rolled another 1. Now, what makes this really bad is for each officer that I have alive at this point, at the end of my turn, I gain 1 point. Starting at the bottom of turn 3, actually. He's no longer alive, so I have really dug myself a hole by rolling that double 1. So my plasma gun over here decided to try to avenge the commander, and he overheated his plasma into that sergeant. He rolled double 1s, so he was just dead. While these guys, first rank fire, didn't manage to kill any of the scouts in there. I did manage to kill 1 scout with a grenade launcher in there. But Frederik made another save when it came to the hot shot last gun. So wound rolls weren't really helping me out. Lastly, the Manicore over in the corner fired across the board, killing 3 of these tactical Marines. I'm trying to keep some of my Casterkins alive at this point, my Tempestus Scions. But I can't overstate how much it hurts to lose that guy there. So, Freddy, you do score objective number 1. At the end of the turn, so you will be up 2-0 going into your turn 3.
Alright.
Just a quick note, made leadership test with a 2 here and a 2 up there, so we didn't forget it. We're just steadfast as Space Marines often are.
Yeah, well, moving everything up, so right flank is kind of secured, so the tactical squad and the Dreadnought are moving up to grant some firepower against the Science. Dreadnoughts moving up to get some shots on the left tanks, maybe. The Scouts are moving out of the forest to also help against all this infantry coming down. The Chaplain jumped up on the rock, shouting against the Science and for his men, for the Emperor, fight them. Yeah. The Captain getting some overview up on the bunker, also shouting at his men. They're all screaming today. Yeah, and that's it. The Scouts and the Tactical Squad stayed where they are, nicely in cover, and are ready to shoot again.
It's going to be a terrible turn for me, I can tell right now. So let's get started so we can get it over.
Yeah, just one more thing. The lone Terminator Sergeant moved across the bridge, nearly holding his weight, and will try to charge the Tempestor, I think.
And then you mentioned you dropped these guys in, right?
Yes, and the Terminators.
Now with the new beta rules, they're shooting 4 shots each.
Yeah, considered about getting them down at the tanks, but I think the last cannon may be enough.
Yeah, I think that's the right play right there, because it's all about objective 1. So
yeah, so
we'll be back after your shooting turn.
Yes, let's go.
I'm quickly running down the green disc to mark casualties. Freddy, take us through.
Yeah, okay. Some light fire from the Scouts and the Tactical Squads took down this one together with the Captain. The Dreadnought and the other Tactical Squad, they were very steady, but I brought them down. Then the Terminators and the Chaplain shot on this Science Squad, only 3 casualties over there.
I did use a command point to play Take Cover, which increased their save by 1.
That was pretty effective.
Yeah.
Then the Ryerson, yeah, he did his thing again and took out the whole squad on his own.
They did not benefit from Take Cover.
No, he is pretty nasty, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah. The Contemptor brought down one of the Lehman Russets to 2 wounds left.
Yeah, took 10 points off of them.
Yeah, and the Venerable Dreadnought finished off the tank commander at the edge.
You did use a command point to reroll the damage.
Yes.
So at least I got that going for me.
Yes.
Alright.
And that's my shooting phase, and one lone Terminator attempts to charge.
Alright, let's, who's he charging?
The Tempestor Prime.
Okay, Overwatch.
Overwatch.
No, let's see if he makes the charge. I think he needs a 2.
Yeah.
He rolls an 11. Alright, bring him on in and let's get this over with quick.
Oh, yeah.
So Frederik's Terminator Sergeant tore through the Tempestor Prime and, overcome with confidence, moved into contact with my Primaris Psyker there on 1 wound. Primaris Psyker had 3 attacks. He hit with 2 of them, wounded with 1 of them. Freddy failed his save, and then using his 4th stave did 2 damage to him. So Primaris Psyker has killed the Terminator Sergeant after he watched his Tempestor Prime get chopped down. Now, interesting to note here, Frederik, again, Tempestor Prime was one of the characters I would have scored a point on. So no points there for me. I do owe you a morale check or 2. Starting with these guys over here, they've lost 3. Their leadership is 7. 4, so they are good to go. Those guys have lost 2. Plus 2 is 4, so they are good to go as well. But things are looking very, very bleak for his most Imperial Guard. Alright, we'll be back here with a score update and then my turn 3. Alright, after review, the score is 2-0. Now, I was rereading Frederik. You score at the beginning of your turn. So you will score a point with him at the start of your next turn. And at the end of this turn, we score for our leaders, but I was doing that slightly wrong. Okay, so we are now on to Shelty's turn 3. In the Imperial Guard, when in doubt, you advance, and that's exactly what my troopers did with these guys peeking around the corner to stare at the chaplain. These guys moving forward, they're 6 inches, and these guys moving forward, they're 6 inches. What's left of my tank company back here has stayed put, as has the Manticore, and we're ready to go into the psychic phase. So I did some measurements, Freddy. These guys are within 18 inches, and the chaplain is the closest model, so they're both going to try to smite here.
Oh, yeah.
So the one on the right here needs a 5. He's the one who blew himself up earlier. He rolled a 10, so it's going to do D3 mortal wounds for 2.
2, so it's down to 3.
Okay, and now his partner over there is going to do the same thing, but he needs a 6. It's a double 1. I will spend a command point to re-roll 1 so I don't peril again. Oh, he rolled a lucky 6. So with that, he's going to do D3 mortal wounds as well. For another 2.
So he's down to 1 wound.
And I am down to 6 command points, but worth it. The Primaris Psychers are probably my MVP at this point. They've been doing a fantastic job. So
absolutely.
Here we go on to the shooting phase. You don't have to worry about me giving orders because I don't got anybody left to give them. So on this Shelty's turn 3, the guys who popped around the corner, he managed to burn himself with his plasma gun and then failed to wound the chaplain, unfortunately. And then the last guns actually did a wound, but Frederik made that save. At that point, I had to open up with the Manicore. The Manicore did finish the job. Frederik used his last command point as he made 2 out of 3 saves, tried to get that 3rd save in there, but did not. So we have at least killed the chaplain. He will no longer control that objective with them. But up comes the Tech Marine. These guys opened up killing 1 Terminator with the Meltagun and not killing any of the scouts in there. The scouts are indestructible. Well, these guys, all 6 of them shot up here, not killing anybody. I did use my 2 tanks, which are on their last legs, 6 health points and 2 health points respectively, to fire all the way across the board, killing the sergeant out of that squad. So it has been pretty not good at this point for the Shelties, but they're going to charge. I'm going to start by charging these guys into the scouts. So we'll be back after the charges hopefully go through. The Tempestus Scions were successful in their charge against the scouts with this first squad coming in and murdering them. It was the Tempestus sergeant with his power sword doing both wounds to the scouts, finally digging them out of that entrenchment. After that, they consolidated into the Dreadnought to prevent it from shooting. It stomped back at them. Doing 4 wounds, I made 3 saves, so it killed 1. These guys decided to hold fast. The Sergeant and Voxcaster bravely charged into the Terminators, but they didn't make it that far. One was killed by a bolter on Overwatch, a Storm Bolter, the other one by an Assault Cannon. That prevented me from playing fire on my position, which would have done some mortal wounds to Freddy over there, but it was not to be. The Terminators saw the threat coming, and they destroyed it with prejudice. Okay, so as far as leadership test, I only lost 1 here. Excuse me. You only lost 1 here. So no leadership test. As we go into turn 4, Freddy, you do score 2 points because you have 2 of your intel guys on the board. Mm-hmm. I score my first point of the game due to the fact that I have this captain back here bravely standing watch over the 2 Leman Russes and the Manticore. So with that, we go on to turn 4 with Freddy firmly in control. Let's see if he can take out the rest of the Imperial Guard here.
And the next movement phase. Terminators moving up the bridge, following the assault brothers. Maybe they will have a better fate. The Tech Marine finally advanced 5 inches, jumping up on the objective. Yeah. The captain moved a bit forward, looking over the edge. Yeah, the one Venerable Dreadnought moved out of combat, the other one moved forward to combat. The tactical squad moved up, and everyone's ready to shoot at the Scions.
Poor Science. Alright, so here we go on the turn 4 shooting phase. They're dead. They're all dead. Everybody's dead. Take us through, Freddy.
Yeah. The scouts did a good job on the Scions, killed 4 guys. No, 3 guys, I guess. Then the captain tried to do something instead of standing on the top, but didn't do anything. But the Venerable Dreadnought killed them off.
That assault cannon right there.
Yeah, shoot through the armor. Yeah, the Contemptor killed 1 of the Leman Russes in the back. The other Venerable Dreadnought wasn't able to shoot because he needed to turn out of combat. Then everything out of the way. The tactical squad eliminated the first Primaris Striker, and the Terminator's the other one. And so this middle objective should be mine.
Last thing, the Leviathan.
Oh yeah,
completely wiped out that squad, which is what opened it up for the tactical squad and
yeah,
those.
forget about this one.
So at this point, I have a Lehman Russ on 2 wounds, a Manicore with 1 missile left to fire, and a Captain. I think I'm going to surrender at this point and say, excellent game.
Thank you very much, Mike.
A decisive victory for the Imperial Fist.
Yeah.
We'll be back to talk about it real quick with the post-game wrap-up, so stay tuned. Nice.
All right, Frederik. First time over to the house, first time on the channel. What do you think?
Yeah, nice to be here.
It's great to have
Very
you.
fun game, but one-sided.
Very one-sided. I haven't lost this bad with my Imperial Guard since 5th edition when Tyranids ran over me, and I promised it would never happen again.
Yeah.
As at Morning Star
Sorry
Games in
about
Savannah,
this.
Georgia.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, what to say? Nice to
What
be
to
here.
say is your first turn. I think that set the tone for the entire game.
Yeah. I think one thing was the landing pad. It was great cover for my Land Raider and the Dreadnoughts
You
to
know,
move up to the middle and not to be shoot from all your tanks.
that's a good point. The mission. The mission
the
tonight
mission was
was a little different from what I've ever played before.
And
And
would you have played with secure objectives, something like this?
were we a little bit more spread out, maybe?
Yeah, my army isn't very mobile. It just has the Terminator squad to turn up, and the Land Raider, but everything else is kind of bulky and slow.
Yeah.
So the mission was very in my favor, and
As soon as we rolled it, I felt that way because you don't see Terminators a lot in 8th edition, but they are good units at holding down objectives. And when there's only one objective to hold down, advantage Terminators. And they didn't necessarily do a great job with your assault Terminators.
No, they were just stuck on the bridge thanks to infantry squads and never reaching the tanks. But
They took a lot of firepower,
that's
and
for sure.
they pretty much opened up a seam for you to fill in order to capture the objective and just keep me at bay with all that firepower.
Moving up the Shetland and the Dreadnoughts. They did well, I think.
Yeah. So you had the mission going for you.
Yeah, that one. And
then first turn firing
was absolutely brutal. The Leviathan killed the first Chimera.
Yeah.
The Contemptor killed your one tank commander, and then I killed the Punisher, who would have shoot through my few infantry squads. And
did some serious damage to the Vanquisher tank commander with one last cannon. I have never had my armor punished like that because normally, people hit it, but then it's quite a bit to damage. But you were running something special tonight, which allowed you to reroll ones.
Yes, was a Siegebreaker cohort from the Vigilus campaign book. And so my captains, my Dreadnoughts, I think Centurions, and I guess Vindicators are in here, and my captain can take this eye up of Hypnot and reroll ones.
Yes.
And also reroll ones to hit because he's a captain. So it makes them pretty accurate.
Yeah, it wasn't overpowering, but it was a nice little bonus that you had for the entirety of the game.
Really reliable.
Does that go against infantry and vehicles, or just against vehicles?
Against everything.
Against everything, yeah.
Just for the units I told you about, but it's pretty cool.
It was quite good.
Dreadnoughts, so that was just perfect for me. Bringing them on again, and you got the point drops on Terminators, the Crusader with the better rules, and also on Dreadnoughts. Everything got a little bit cheaper. And that really showed, I think.
And the new beta rolls with the bolters, I think, showed pretty well tonight because essentially doubling your amount of shots that you're getting from 12 to 24 inches.
That's pretty hard, especially with the Crusader.
Yeah.
28 shots with the Storm Bolter and the Hurricane Bolters.
No, it was always within close range of what it was shooting at anyway. But what I thought where it really helped you out was with your scouts and your tactical squads shooting from a distance. Especially effective against the Guard with their toughness 3 and their 5-up armor save. All those extra shots came through. Because I had 80 bodies on the board tonight and you chewed through all 80 of them. Well, 79 I saw the captain left over.
Yeah, he's left. That's what. The first turn, the cover in the middle and the mission. Everything's in my favor.
Yeah.
Some reliable firepower. So, as you always see in the 8th edition, I think the first turn makes a pretty nasty difference.
Yeah, I think they tried to equal it out, and they did a good job of equalizing it out by the new stratagem of, you know, taking that cover for the first turn, but it doesn't work against you guys.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think it would be better to get -1 to hit rolls. So just say, the pop-up smoke all over the battlefield, you can't see really, and it's -1 to hit for everything. I think it would be better. So
I needed something tonight.
Yeah, I think it's wool you should try out. So +1 to cover is nice, but I think it's not enough.
I think they're kind of moving that direction for their Cities of Death rule set, where that cover works a lot more like it does in Kill Team, where you're starting to see the -1s and then stack up after that.
I think that's a nice idea to try.
I agree. Anyways, we don't want to talk too long here. It was great to have you on the channel. Thank you very much for coming over. You're invited back anytime.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll give you a tougher game next time.
Yeah, can going over my guard maybe, Black Templars or Knights,
Guard,
whatever you want.
You know, after the defeat of my guard, it might be a minute before I get them back out.
Yeah.
So you might see my Drukhari the next time you come over.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen them one time before at the store?
Yeah, at the store tournament. They were pretty hefty.
Yeah.
They, well, haven't been nice to my
Yeah, they have the speed to really close the distance on them.
Speed
and what you call it.
They're all not really melee powered, so that would be a point.
Okay, so we'll have to talk about it and we'll have you back over before too long.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this game. Probably not the most competitive game on YouTube, but it was certainly a lot of fun to film and play. And there will be more coming your way, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Always look forward to hearing from you, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.